Welcome to
yeah.
Somehow I Marriage. I'm Noelle.
And I am David.
So today's episode sponsor is Pelican Catholic Gifts. Their website is www.pelicancatholicgifts.com. Pelican Catholic Gifts offers handcrafted glass bead rosaries for any occasion. Choose from ready-to-ship rosaries or special order your own custom rosary. And they have some really beautiful stickers and artwork on there, so definitely check them out.
Yes, you had a Pelican situation the other day where...
How does one have a Pelican situation when we live in Oklahoma? Okay, first of all.
No, because the whole Catholic imagery of the pelican is that, remember the artwork of the mother pelican. She is giving herself for her children to feed upon because it's a time of famine or whatever. She is sacrificing herself to give her life to her children. So we had no food around here. No, I'm just kidding. Because we work for the church and we can't afford food. No, I'm just kidding. But boom, roasted church. There you go. But yeah, you had a Pelican situation the other day where I couldn't even look at you. It was like one of the children had picked at you.
They totally,
and it was on your nose. You had a scab.
Okay, sometimes I can't look at you
bloody
either.
Scab on your nose.
Yeah, because one of our kids attacked me like a little gremlin
or a pelican, a little pelican.
Yeah, it was because our 2-year-old basically snuggles with my head to fall asleep at night, and I've got to figure out how to get the situation to change, but you basically are no help, and you roll over and you go to sleep. And
I got the kids into their own beds when you were on a gig, trip, and
then you give up.
You came back. No, you came back and you undid every single thing that I did.
Well, I missed them.
Well, yeah.
So that's what happens.
Now you get your face pecked off.
So here's our topic. Speaking of for the day, it is find a wife who buys Valentines when they're 50% off. Because David and I, we rebuke the system.
Yeah, you're basically implying that nobody gets a Valentine until February 15th.
14th.
No, 15th.
No, 14th is Valentine's Day.
Yeah, nobody gets a Valentine until February 15th.
No, but I thought you were talking about the system. The system of Valentine's Day would be that we buy Valentines on the 14th, but our system is different. And we wait until the 15th and sometimes 16th.
Yeah, well, if you wait till... Thank you for that clarification, first of all. And then second of all, if you're waiting till the 16th, you're taking a chance there. Like they could be all gone by then because there's other people that are catching on
you're
too.
Just left with conversation hearts or something.
We have conversations.
Hearts. So the thing is, David and I, we decided, no, we are not going to let society tell us when we can be romantic. We're going to be romantic 2 days after,
and in a cheaper way, because
you are very little money.
You are my chucheria.
I don't even know what that means.
That is a Puerto Rican expression, which means my little cheap thing.
Okay, great. Well, in that case, this is why David and I are generally not super romantic. Although,
but we're very cultured.
Well, I recently posted a picture on my Facebook of when we were selected as the cover photo for the Kansas Top 15 Romantic Places. Because David and I used to play at a steakhouse.
We were selected as
and we
romantic
were the cover
places.
Photo. No, we were the cover photo for that article.
We're not places.
Okay, but we were the cover photo for that article, and it was so funny because David and I, we're not super romantic. Like,
what's the most romantic thing that I have ever done? Would you say
clean the house?
That's it.
And the place.
Yeah, so what does it for you? What
right
does
now.
it for you? What leads you to want me?
Okay.
Is me being a maid.
Sister wives, that's coming to mind. I'm just kidding. No, okay. Well, let's start.
You have crossed a line.
No. There's different things in different phases.
I don't even, I mean, this is worse than that scabby pelican thing.
No, there's different. Okay. Wow. You're about to have a pelican situation. I'm just saying. Okay.
The female pelican cannot attack the male pelican. Okay. Now you've again
Black
crossed.
Widow. I don't know. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Now you've crossed another line.
Well, listen. Okay. So at the beginning of our relationship.
Who's joking about domestic violence now?
Wow. No. Jeez, David. Oh my gosh.
Okay. I'm done.
No, listen. Okay. At the beginning of our relationship, there were different things that you did that were super romantic.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Like, name one.
In the beginning, when we were just dating, I would say one of the most romantic things that you did for me was like handwrite letters, like in the regular mail. We used to write letters back and forth. I really.
Do you have any of those?
Yeah, I saved everything. I don't know where it is. It's probably in my memory trunk in the attic. Yeah.
That was very heavy to bring that up there.
Yeah, I got a lot of memories.
A lot of dark memories. Yeah. Those are the heaviest.
Okay. They're in an envelope marked David.
Confidential. I wonder what I said now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
So that's it? Just letter writing?
You did romantic things like, the time that I visited you in the airport and then you had roses in the guitar case.
Yeah. It was at the, you were coming up the escalator.
Down.
And was it down?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was up.
It was down.
I felt like coming to me was like you were rising.
No, I was going down to you.
Oh. Okay,
I definitely descended beneath my station.
Wow. You bring us a whole octave down.
A octave lower, I think. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, that wasn't exactly a knee slapper.
So you had
yeah, so I either way, at the bottom of the escalator or at the top, I really could have sworn it was at the top. Like anyway, so I had set out my guitar case that didn't say tips. It had a sign that said what did the sign say?
Noelle,
I love you, Noelle, and then it had roses inside, and then I was playing a song by the band Dispatch. I think it was 2 Coins. And take loneliness, your lips, and the 2 coins of your eyes into my pocket. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's enough. Okay. So there were different romantic things, but I don't think that I did anything romantic because
you haven't done anything. You haven't done anything.
I shouldn't have to. I'm the
one time you tried to do something romantic, I felt like you robbed me.
Yeah, I cleaned your entire apartment.
So I am very creative. I'm an artist, and which makes me sensitive, but also prone to fits of uncleanliness because I am so creative.
Hence,
I cannot
this entire room. Oh my gosh!
I cannot devote my mental energies to organization because that could take away from the creativity. Anyway. But my apartment was a raging disaster. Not like hoarding or whatever, but just raging uncleanliness. And you came there. You acquired the key because I had given a spare key to you guys. You were living with your sister at the time, and I think I gave you guys a spare key because you're the only people I knew in Michigan because I moved to Michigan, so I'm by myself. If I get locked out, what the heck would I do? Anyway, so you acquired the key and you snuck into my apartment and cleaned it when I was out of town, and you cleaned it so well. You were very good at cleaning. You cleaned it so well that when I walked into the apartment, my first thought was I had been robbed, like literally cleaned out.
He's not kidding.
They stole everything because there's nothing left.
Yeah, that unveiling really didn't go as I imagined in my head.
Yeah, well,
I really was expecting a lot of gratitude. Well, I think that's
our honeymoon was an unveiling as well. And that our honeymoon was
our honeymoon.
Our horny moon.
No, I did not say that, David. OMG. Back off the mic. Wow.
That's what you said.
Wow. No, that's not what I said. Okay. So anyway, no, that's what you said. Okay. All right, you have to stop laughing so we can keep going. Okay.
Don't make me laugh. I'm full of chocolate. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Gosh.
All right.
This is the worst.
Circle back.
Yeah. So anyways.
You know my mother-in-law is listening. Don't say stuff like that.
That was your fault. So anyway, but yeah, I also gave you a man cave one time when you were out of town.
Oh, that was right. That's right. So
I cleaned out a storage closet. I painted it.
There was a storage closet in our old house, and thank you for giving me the storage closet. You turned it into a little studio, office studio, and that I really appreciated that. That was very, very. That was very like the thoughtfulness turns into the romance. I guess romance doesn't have to always be like the typical imagery of that, like flowers, hearts, etc. It can be the chocolates,
a service,
or not even the service, but like thoughtfulness of like you put time into thinking about the person, and then you did something for them that spoke to specifically them. And I was trying to design do content, when I realized that the internet doesn't care.
Like you.
Yeah, the internet is a cruel place. So I needed to do more content.
Well, I think one of the things, and we struggled with this for a while too. I think we're just kind of coming over the hump of this particular struggle, but where I would be like, oh, you're not romantic anymore, because your idea of romance is back the beginning of like what first won you over, the actions of the other person, what first won you over. But when we were at that stage of our relationship, we both, we didn't have kids, we lived on our own. We had different levels of responsibilities that allowed us to devote some more time and thought to the idea of romance. But now,
go ahead.
No. Yeah. You just silence for a second.
Yeah, no, keep going.
Yeah, thanks. And so, so we really wrestled with, at least I did, like, oh man, you're not romantic anymore. You don't do romantic things for me at all. But now that we're coming over the hump of that, I think it's just that we've seen how we express romantic, love for each other it's evolved. It's not that it's not there. It can't be the same because we're not the same as we were, 14 years ago, just dating.
I never had hair growing out of my earlobes back then. Right. I got to trim them now. I remember that time when we had we had two couples over. We had your sister and our brother-in-law, over, and then, your friend, growing up in Memphis, and her her now husband. I think that they were engaged at the time. And what was interesting, so they came over our house and we played board games. This is when we lived in Kansas. We played board games that night, and that was an interesting dynamic because you had three couples doing the same activity together, and they were each at different stages of their relationship. The one couple, they were engaged. That was your old friend from Memphis and her husband, now husband, and then your sister and our brother-in-law. They were just dating, really. Just dating?
Yeah, they were dating. Oh, they weren't engaged yet.
Okay, so you had dating, engaged, and then us, who had been married for, I think it had been like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And the dynamic at that table, remember who was holding hands? There was
the
one.
The engaged couple was holding hands. The dating couple were just kind of sweet to each other. Yes. And you and I are sitting at complete opposite ends of the table.
Yes.
Making fun of each other.
And I think, yes. And then even the physical contact was different between couples. The dating couple, and we're all friends. I guess we can talk about this. I think that they know what we observed that night. I think we talked about that. Yeah, I think we've talked about it. It's like there was the awkwardness, but close for the dating couple. And then the engaged couple, they were very close, and just just sickeningly,
lovey-dovey.
and then us, the married couple, for 3 years or 4 years, we were distant, and super but distance, I guess, is not like a cold distance, but just a super comfortable distance. I'm better off being far away. No, I'm just kidding. but then even what they said to each other, the things that they would say to each other, I'm drawing a blank. It will just
remember what they said. The dating couple was just a little more polite to each other, and then the engaged couple, they were really, really overly affectionate, and you and I were super rude to each other.
Were we super rude?
I don't know, not super rude, but just kind of but there was a level of comfort.
We were having a tough night that night.
There's a different level of comfort with each stage, right? And
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So
you go from awkward to lovey-dovey to rude.
Right. to hatred, and then back to love. So,
after finally, when you have to go back to the retro-vi retreat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then you go back to lovey-dovey. Never go back to awkward, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. This is pretty awkward for me. To be honest,
really?
Yeah.
Is it some of the things I've said?
When is it ever? You thrive in awkwardness, actually.
Yeah. Yes.
It's actually a charism of yours, I think.
If there's an opportunity to make it more awkward,
Yeah.
So anyway.
But just thinking of my idea of romance when we were dating, if you were to come over and clean my house, I would be like, oh, well, that's nice. Whereas if you were to bring me a bunch of flowers, I would have thought that was super romantic. At this point in our relationship, with 6 kids and me working full time and doing a lot of travel, and you starting a business, and us homeschooling and all of the things that we have on our plate, when you do clean the house as a romantic gesture, because that's really the only time that you clean the house, right? This is as a romantic gesture for me.
No.
Or when you're sick of it.
When I clean,
right?
when I clean, it is a result of when it starts to get in the way of the creativity, and when it starts to affect the daily life. And now you could argue that, if you just kept it up, then you would never reach that point. But it's just not. I think that's some people's temperaments.
Well, it's not a lack of trying. But
that's the Martha thing versus the Mary thing.
Well,
I've chosen the better part.
Also, though, with our current state of life and current gestures of romance, it is a merciful thing. It's a merciful thing to be what can I do to help out my spouse with something that's on their plate. Or what do they need to be able to do what they do well? One of the things that David does that it's taken me many, many years to really support him in this is that when he gets up early in the morning, he has his coffee and he goes to prayer. So I really try not to interrupt him until I know that he's had some time and we're nearing towards the end of that time. I try to keep that space, for you, because I know that's what you need. And so the romantic things for us aren't so much cards and flowers, but it's how do we deepen our love and support one another at this crazy dumpster fire state of life right now. It's almost a mercy, and it's almost a a dying to self for the other person.
I don't know what
no, because
mercy.
Look,
I don't clean the house out of mercy.
Well, it does feel merciful to me.
That's not even one of the corporal works of mercy.
Well, no, listen. I was looking at. I went to see what Wikipedia said about romance, and this was interesting.
We're gonna have to come back to the mercy thing because you're gonna have to connect the dots on that one.
Okay, but it says Collins Dictionary describes romantic love as an intensity and idealization of a love relationship in which the other is imbued with extraordinary virtue, beauty, etc., so that the relationship overrides all other considerations. So in that, thinking, I love that definition actually, because love and mercy have to go together. There's no love without mercy, and there's no mercy without love. But in that practice, you have to die to self, And when we were romantic, the feelings were so strong that dying to self was really easy. Romance came really easy because we had the attraction and the excitement of the new relationship. But then over the many years, it just looks differently, even though it's not. I wouldn't say, I don't love you less. I love you more than I did then. But romance in our relationship looks different.
Well, looking here at the corporal works of mercy, because I can't remember them off the top of my head. Anytime there's a list of 7 in the Catholic Church, like the 7 sacraments, the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, I need to check the list. Feed corporal works of mercy. Feed the hungry.
I feed you. You don't like what I cook, but I do feed you.
That is true. But I don't know if that's a work of... Well, no, all right. It never said it has to be good food.
I do. Wow. I mean, true. But I do die to myself.
I do too, eating it.
Okay. Wow.
I'm on fire. Okay, give drink to the thirsty. Now, the drinks that you provide are pretty tasty.
This afternoon, though, you bought yourself 6 drinks from the gas station.
No, I bought 6 drinks. 2 of them were for you. 4 of them were for me because you had simple taste buds.
Water.
I wanted different things.
Okay.
Give alms to the poor. Shelter the homeless. I do get mistaken for homeless. So visit the sick. We had an episode on about what was the name of it? Find a spouse.
Find a spouse who's greatly inconvenienced when you're sick.
Yeah.
Oops.
Visit the imprisoned and bury the dead. So visit the imprisoned. Well, I guess if your house was that messy, then you are imprisoned. But no, I don't.
Our house feels like a prison.
According to the corporal works of mercy, I don't know if you can describe the cleaning as a work of mercy. I just don't get it.
Well, not from that list.
Then
but it's spiritual work of mercy. Go look at the spiritual works of mercy. Okay, what does it say?
Spiritual works of mercy. Instruct the ignorant.
Tell you how to clean.
I knew there was a joke coming. All right, he knew it was going to be about you. Now we're even. Now we're even about the food thing. Okay, counsel the doubtful.
Mm-hmm. I doubt that you can clean this.
And you were not wrong. Admonish the sinner.
If you don't clean this, I'm really going to be sad.
That's not a sin. If you don't clean this, then I am going to sin by being angry. So then you're the sinner. All right. Forgive injuries.
You made this mess and I will forgive you.
Comfort the sorrowful. I'm sorry, honey, that I didn't clean this. The next. Here we go. Bear wrongs patiently. You don't really do that. You look at the mess.
That you're wrong.
You look at the mess and you don't bear it patiently, and you flip out. And
you admitted that you were wrong. Thank you.
Pray for the living and the dead. Not pray for the living dead.
Yeah.
That's very important.
No, but the reason why I say it is a mercy is because I really, whether you make a financial sacrifice to go and buy flowers, or you make a time sacrifice to do something that your spouse loves to do that you don't really like to do. Like you wanted me to go play video games the other day, and I did not want to do that at all.
It was with all the kids. Like the 8 of us would have been doing a team deathmatch Halo battle, and
I hate that with all my heart.
Really?
Pretty much.
But you didn't die to yourself there. You could have, because it was my birthday.
Yeah. Well, we didn't end up having time to do that, but I would have done that. I would have died to myself. But yeah, if you think, okay, if like our ultimate ideal of what is love is the cross, then in that there is love and mercy. And so I think you can't separate romantic love from that. Like whether you're talking about Jesus's pursuit of us in that romantic language from the Bible that it's like, I so loved you that I sent my only son, like he pursues you. He's a good father, a good shepherd, all of these, and all the imagery of love.
Yeah. But see, that's not, I think you just hit the nail on the head right there is Christ is romantic to his bride in any way that his bride is pursued by him. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, the pursuing, now how does that work out in the domestic church? The pursuing takes place or in the form of different things. And it's in any way that the spouse feels like they have been pursued. Like I think that goes back to even the thoughtfulness. Think about even the Office, the TV show The Office. I don't know how many people watch that or whatever, but the most romantic gifts between the main couple there, that was the focus of the romantic aspect of the show. Jim and Pam, the most romantic gifts, if you will, between them were the ones that were the most thoughtful. Mm-hmm. It was something that like an experience that they had, and he saved this one thing from that experience. There you go. There's your letters that you saved in your dark memory box in the attic. It was what else? That's the only thing I can think of. But the idea is the thoughtfulness. So if it is something that where you feel pursued because whatever this room was cleaned, and whatever, and it's not my thing. Obviously I didn't do it because I am a clean person. I did it because I was thinking about you. Mm-hmm. That's the temperament right there. It's not it doesn't come natural to me to that's the default mode is to clean. So yeah, I guess I'm coming around to seeing your side of things.
Well, I think it's just, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves or in our earlier years of marriage that I feel like we really have just recently come to the other side of that, where it's like, not expecting the same type of romantic
that would be lame
activity as was when we were dating.
If I think either of us behaved the same way that we did when we were dating, I think it would come off as like okay, like get out of here. You have to mature. You have to whatever. There's a new side to the adventure. You have to be thoughtful in the place that you're in now. Like you can't stay there on the mountaintop. There's other mountains that may be higher. You'll do greater things than this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that would be absolutely lame if we were still on the mountaintop of where we were when we were dating.
Right. And I hear a lot of different friends who've said over the years that they've become more distant from their spouse. And I think one of the things that has mostly helped us, although it has been a cross sometimes, is the amount of things that we do together when we're like playing music together. That can be a cross sometimes because we're arguing about how we do the music, or we hurt each other's feelings, or, writing a talk together, or doing a podcast together. There's so many things that we are caught up in together that is great because we get to spend time together. But when I really think we have to refocus on the fact that your spouse is the most important person in your life. That relationship is the most important relationship in the entire household. Because if mom and dad don't love each other, and mom and dad don't model forgiveness of each other, and mom and dad are holding on to grudges and resentments and belittling each other, then that is going to seep down into all the other relationships of the house. And so if we can just remember, when we're thinking about romance, it's not necessarily, okay, go buy flowers and go clean the house or whatever. It's, are we thinking of the other person as the most important person in our household? That's the most important relationship that we have to grow and protect.
Yeah. I don't know, for me in this conversation, what I'm getting is just the thoughtfulness, and to act on that. Like, it's not just enough to think about your spouse, but to actually put that into actions, into words, and yeah, then that's going to be different for everybody. And then, yeah, sometimes the flowers and the chocolates, and the kisses or whatever, that gross the kids out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those make sense in the time, in that spontaneous, moment. But, yeah, I don't think that we are, I know we've gone through whatever the thing that everybody goes through in marriage. Like you cross over from the dating stage to the honeymoon stage.
David, gosh, I was in the middle of a yawn and then I realized what you were saying.
You were yawning when I was talking?
No. It was just, it's been a long
How
day.
dare you? How dare you? Everything I say is interesting. No, like I think when you cross one bridge over to the another place, like you all of a sudden feel, or can feel like, did we do something wrong? I want to go back to where we were,
right?
Because things are like that, and that can be the scary thing. That's the unknown.
Well, because we can not only idealize our future when we're dating, but we can also idealize our past.
Yes.
Like, remember the good old days. And you're like, wait a second, those weren't that great. Like, if you were really to unpack all of the things that have happened to you or whatever. But yeah, I think marriage is a journey. Catechism says marriage is where we learn to perfect our love. And so one day maybe we'll have a near perfect love.
Yeah, you have a lot of things that you need to work on.
Okay, well. Anyways.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, so is there anything else I can, if there's something that I can do for you to be more romantic, do you think that I should tell you, or would you prefer if I just did it?
To me, I prefer if you just did. I mean, thoughtfulness is thoughtful, is anticipating, really.
Thoughtfulness is not but the thoughtfulness is not mind reading, though.
Okay. But it does have an element of anticipating
the
other person's need and knowing.
But see, we're both going like that. No,
flip it this way.
No, I'm flipping it. No, okay. but you see what, like that. That's what I think that women can get into trouble with. Not to stereotype, but all right. Anyway, we just did. Is like maybe the husband is feeling like, well, I'm not a mind reader, right? Like I think you hear men say that more than women, and sure, maybe there's instances, but where it flips, but depends on the situation. But thoughtfulness is not mind reading. There's a difference there. Thoughtfulness is this anticipation, whereas mind reading that's mind reading. I think, well, from the women's perspective, when do women or how do women get themselves into that situation where they become grumpy?
I think
when there's not the anticipation.
So, but a lot of times there are hints that are dropped, but I definitely can see where I should be like, hey, it would mean a lot to me if da 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 da. But at the same, that's a fine line, because like if I say, hey, it would mean a lot to me if you bought flowers for me on Friday or something like that, then you're like, okay, well, I guess I have to buy flowers for you on Friday. And then you're going to give it to me. And I'm like, you only did that because I told you that you should do that. So there is that kind of
that's the
cycle.
Robotic.
Right,
right. That's the robotic thing. And yeah, like God doesn't love like that. He doesn't want robots to love him. So,
well,
how can women avoid the trap of where they find themselves like wanting that thoughtfulness, but it turns into the resentment, back on them, which the husband, would accuse them of, wanting them to be a mind reader or something like that. How can women avoid that?
I mean, if I knew the exact answer to that, I would have $1 million.
You would use it yourself.
I know.
You would take your own
advice. Our marriage would be a lot better if I knew the answer to that. Well, I think it's just, I think it's showing appreciation for when the husband has shown something, thought, or done something that's really meant a lot to you, like kind of trying to go out of our way in appreciation. Because I have found that when I am more affirming of something that you've done that's really super thoughtful, then you tend to repeat that. But if I am not affirming, even if I appreciated it, but I'm not affirming, then you kind of like, oh, I did all that for nothing. And then you never do it again. I
am never buying you a desk again and setting it up in this office for you,
Okay, but you unveiled it for me after I'd driven 18 hours from
Michigan
with the children.
It was a surprise.
And it's 4 o'clock in the morning
home,
or something.
and I had it built, and I thought, oh, she was like gonna come into the room and cross the threshold. She's gonna be like, oh, David, this is amazing. Thank you so much. And instead, your response was, what you're doing right now.
I was so exhausted. I fell asleep on the bed.
You're just like,
I was like, thanks, hon.
Okay.
And I fell asleep.
Oh, okay. It's a desk.
I was dead tired. But I couldn't get past that. Like, I couldn't go back and make up that moment, because then you still thought, well, she doesn't like it. I did all this and she doesn't like it. But I thought in that moment, and I was dead tired.
Right. But not, but not only that, it's like, when you're doing something like that, when you're putting the desk together, every screw you're putting in, you're thinking, like, I couldn't help it. I was thinking about, like, oh, she's going to love this, and like, she's going to maybe, and you start picturing how your spouse is going to, like, respond, when she sees it for the first time. And when it was like the absolute opposite.
So now we're even for the apartment cleaning.
Gosh. And we're also even for the cooking. And what else was there on the Corporal Works of Mercy list? The comments you made about bearing wrongs patiently.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Instructing the ignorant. That was pretty hateful.
Okay, fine. We're even on all the things. Fine.
Because marriage is
compromise.
Marriage is not 50-50. It's what is it?
It's 100-100, but sometimes it's 102, and sometimes it's 170.
Marriage is always 100-100, but sometimes it is always somebody's fault. 100% somebody's fault.
Right. Well, anyway, so that's our topic on finding a wife who buys Valentines when they're 50% off.
Yes.
And
do not follow what society says. You do not have to buy the full price.
You do not.
Chocolates. You can wait. St. Valentine would approve of what we're doing. He more than likely does not approve what has become of his day. Okay. The day to remember.
Anyway.
This saint's life.
So be sure to visit our sponsor, PelicanCatholicGifts.com.
Peck your face off gifts.
PelicanCatholicGifts.com.
Yes.
And get your glass of rosaries.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Flippity Flip.
Flippity flip.
On the
I thought you were going to say the Philippines.
We'll see you next time on the
flippity flip.
On the flickin' Philippines.
Flickin' flicka.
It's probably offensive to somebody. All right. Peace out.